The JoyCons are the controllers that come with the Nintendo Switch. They are designed with technology that the Switch games utilize to enhance gaming experience. From motion control, gyroscope, HD rumble, NFC, Bluetooth, the JoyCons have it. Even infrared. We love the JoyCons, but of course, there's always a room for improvement or an alternative for an original. Hello there, tech buddies. Welcome to Tech and Things. This channel is created for product unboxing, product review, and discussion of gadgets that we already have in our house and further tech that we want or interested in. The Split Pad Pro is made by Hori, a known brand for making console accessories. It serves as an alternative to the Switch stock JoyCon. It gives the user a full grip and additional control. I will tell you this early that it cannot do everything a JoyCon does. But the big question is, do you need this controller? For this episode, we will check out the Hori Split Pad Pro, and by the end of this video, you should be able to tell if you really need it or not. So let's start. Since the Split Pad Pro cannot do everything that the JoyCon can, I tested the Split Pad Pro in different game types to focus on the need for the controller depending on what type of games you are playing. The experience with 2D Metroidvania games are the best when using the Split Pad Pro. The D-pad is a must-have for these games, and the assignable buttons are a big help for some functions. HD rumble and motion control in this type of games are not really known for. With this, the TNT score is 10 out of 10. Playing with these games require long playing times, which the Split Pad Pro is very helpful because of its shape and size, making it comfortable to hold. Unfortunately, some games like Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey requires the HD rumble in some parts, and motion control is also an important function for aiming, changing the way of attack during fight scenes, and even completing in-game tasks or shrine quests. With this, the TNT score is 7 out of 10. Just like action-adventure games, action RPG games requires long periods of playing, which will cause slight discomfort when using the JoyCons. It's the most important feature of the Split Pad Pro, and will keep up with you along your journey in an open world setup. Some of these games doesn't need motion control, or the feature can be turned off. Therefore, handheld gaming using the Split Pad Pro is a good experience, minus the HD rumble which helps in-game effects and experience. With this, the TNT score is 8 out of 10. Control is key when it comes to racing games. The size of the joysticks are a big help when using the Split Pad Pro. Although you cannot feel the engine of your car throttling, the game experience is decent. Motion control can be disabled in Mario Kart 8. Unless you are better in racing games via motion control, then the Split Pad Pro is not for you. The grip is also good for this type of games, and assign button is very useful for power-ups, braking, or even nitro boost. With this, the TNT score is 8 out of 10. Sports games are usually played depending on the quarter length, but comfort cannot be compromised even for short periods of play. The shape of the controller is also designed so that the buttons can easily be reached by your fingers. Decent gameplay is achieved with the Split Pad Pro, unless you want to feel the vibration of the crowd booing your free throws. With this, the TNT score is 8 out of 10. When we speak of arcade fighting, the joystick is the real deal. Another thing to consider is the size and tactile response of the buttons. Split Pad Pro performs well in this type of games because of the right size of joystick and button responses. You will have a wider movement for the joystick, and your fingers will hit the right buttons most of the time. If rumble is a big deal for you during the fight, the Split Pad Pro cannot give it to you. With this, the TNT score is 9 out of 10. Control is critical for this kind of games, especially for aiming. Motion control can be used or not, but depending on how you depend on the function. I usually just rely on the joystick control. Assignable buttons are very helpful for these games, especially when dodging bullets or balls of fire and poison. The Split Pad Pro gives you the proper control for these games. Vibration is also key, since when an enemy hits you, it's the first thing you feel other than the sight of your health bar being diminished quickly from 100 to none. Unfortunately, the Split Pad Pro doesn't have that. With this, the TNT score is 8 out of 10. The Split Pad Pro satisfies the expected feel and function. We don't expect it to exceed the JoyCons since it lacks rumble, motion control, and wireless connectivity. But if you can live without rumble in handheld mode, it is definitely a good buy since it provides the right size and comfort in your hands, making long playing times fun and giving you additional control with assign and turbo functions. If you have a Pro controller, you can still enjoy playing Zelda, Mario Odyssey, and other games which require HD rumble and motion control, but limited to TV and tabletop mode. It's best for 2D Metroidvania and arcade fighting because of the D-pad and size of the joystick and buttons. If you love this type of games, then it's a must-have. It does well in other type of games that does not require rumble and motion control to complete a task. To wrap it up, it's a good alternative to JoyCons, especially for those who have big hands. But be mindful of the lacking features, since some of the games do require this to be able to get the promised game experience. Stay tuned for the next content for more tech and things. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe.